Good morning, guys. If you could give me a quick sound check, please, that would be great. Hey, Matthew. And good morning to you, Owen, as well. Good to see you, man. Sound is good. Good, I'm glad to hear it. All right. So I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, Matthew, sorry, time got away from us there, didn't it, buddy? But listen, I won't forget about your questions. There's some good questions, and just thought it would be better to discuss that in person, well, so to speak, as I'll be able to give you a bit of a better insight as to the answers to your questions, in short. So we'll just we'll postpone that, I believe, because they're good. They are good questions, definitely. But I'm really pressed for time today. I've got a lot of meetings with potential partners and stuff, so I've got a great deal to do. This morning was really my only slot for that. So don't forget about it, and we'll definitely pick that up. I'll definitely pick that up with you soon enough in the live trading discussions. And that's just another thing there, by the way. You know, if you ever have questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to just simply ask me if if I've got 5 minutes, and if we can jump in the live trading discussions, because that's what that room was created for. So if you have any questions in the future you want answered or anything like that, just hit me up and ask if I've got 5 minutes spare, and we can just jump in there and hash it out, because that's that's exactly what it's used for, right? If you imagined if you worked for a trading firm and you had questions that you wanted to ask, then that's what would happen, right? So that's exactly the kind of environment that I want to be promoting in here. So utilize it as best you can. Right on. So Wednesday today, turning points. We had some pretty extreme moves in our US markets yesterday, but unfortunately only in the evening. The afternoon session yesterday was pretty dead in the US 30 Dow Jones. The NAS 100 was okay, but it was okay from about 5:30. The initial breakout, which is as part of our trading strategy yesterday for the NAS 100, which is where we got the 1 to 2.45, which is really nice. It was pretty much dead after that. I mean, you could have traded it and you would have been in it for ages. It wouldn't have been a stop loss. It would have been a successful turnaround, but it was a real grind. And then at 5:30 here, we really got some nice trading volume entering the market. And the NAS 100 itself rose from the low down here to the high up there of around 0.87, 0.88%. over the course of about an hour and a half, which was really good. The Dow Jones, very much the same thing. It was a real grind upon the breakout right the way through. We got this little bit of a bump here. Again, more consolidation and stuff, and just taking its time. Finally got the break close retest of the TRF that we were looking at yesterday. It did have this push up here, so this entire push up was okay. But the beginning of that one again was at 5:10, and it ended there at 6:30. And then at the beginning of the Asia session, we got this amazing sell-off. So this is now 2 days in a row where the Asia session seems to have been far outperforming the European session, even when it comes to these US stock markets as well, which is a little bit of a shame. So yesterday for me ended up being 1 win, 1 loss in terms of the US markets in particular. The NAS 100, as you just saw from yesterday afternoon session, was the winner, and the US 30 Dow Jones, the exact same one, was a loser. And this was a loser in the space of a couple of minutes here, guys. Literally, trade executed, trade stopped. The stop loss looks ridiculously short there, I must admit. Even by my standards, it does. I don't think that is actually the real stop that I had. I believe my stop loss was a bit further down here, so it was more like a 1 to 2.3. I have no idea why the stop was even there in the first place, but that's what the stop was. And yeah, it did yield a loss pretty much instantly. So that was the US markets. It wasn't great. In terms of the rest of the asset basket then for what's been going on here. Real mixed results as well. It just continues that kind of mixed theme. UK Brent was a stone's throw away from our target profit. So let's go up here to the 50-minute time frame. So UK Brent, yeah, stone's throw away from the TP. What the hell is that doing there? I have no idea who's been messing around with this morning. Maybe the kids. Yeah, so my TP for UK Brent is up at around 76, 75. And that's based on the upper limit here. So about there, and that's based on the upper limit. But it was so close to the TP being achieved, and now we're trading back down. We're basically at break-even point at this level, which is a real shame. So that's that one. We don't know what's going to happen with that one just yet. But of course, we'll have to wait and see. We've got, yeah, that's fine. That was yesterday's. Looking at gold here as well. That's it, all new time highs. So gold now it's trading up. We hit a new all-time high just in the same candle here for 27.58. So look at that daily chart, guys. I mean, God, you know, it is really, really going for it. Looking at the DXY here as well. Interestingly enough, the DXY has gone for a really nice big breakout as well. Trading higher. If we look at the daily time frame here, DXY is on a huge rally at the moment, just the same as gold, which is insane. It's absolutely insane what's going on here with these two assets at the moment, with their inverse or not inverse correlation at this stage. But it's risky territory. It really is. One or the other is going to break, and it's just a matter of time. So very interested to see what happens here. In terms of trading opportunities, forward-looking opportunities in gold, we are still running the same theme. Every break close retest we get, we're looking for fixed 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio trade ideas is 0.25 per trade. And it's just continuing to do that over and over and over again. And as soon as you get a counter trend break of structured trade idea, we're then looking to take the market back down to the previously used anchor point. So just to give you a real clear shot of what I'm expecting and what I'm kind of looking for, if we got this break close retest, this is the block, this is the break of structure. I am then looking for a fixed 1-to-2 trade, regardless of wherever that may be in the markets, and that's going to be my trade idea in gold. And then I'm looking to repeat this process over and over and over again. If, for example, we have the market and this pullback here breaking through that structural point, I am then looking to short the market underneath there and take it back down to the previously used anchor point for a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-1.8 or whatever that may be. So, something like that, for example. And we're just rinse and repeating this process the whole way up. Really, really basic trading, just following the money. That's all it's doing, just following that institutional money. So the rest of them then we'll cover off. To be fair, we don't even need this anymore, so that can go. Natural gas, that can go. We're clean on that one. Corn, that can go. Yeah, that can go. That breakout was insane, by the way, in corn. Really, really nice. I don't want to clear the chart, just the trade from that, because that's some really nice analysis on that one that I can utilize probably. Aussie NZD, pending order just seems a bit of a far sight away from where we are at the moment. It's not really, still not done anything. It's still grinding along sideways. Aussie dollar, again, just kind of cruising. CAD against the Swiss, I wouldn't say it is cruising, but we're going to remove the pending order from the CAD Swiss. Okay, so the CAD Swiss pending order should not be live anymore. We did rally all the way up to around 62.85, getting a bit of a steep and sharp sell-off here at the moment, but I don't think there's going to be any sort of real trade ideas in this one just yet. Then we have the euro dollar. So I am happy to say that our euro USD trade actually worked out for a 1-to-2.78 as well. So that's not too bad at all. We should remove this now as well, guys. This pending order for the long. So that's gone. Okay. So good to see the euro dollar dropping in. We had the GA, which we already covered, I believe, yesterday. And that one worked out really nicely as well. I don't think we were on the stream for that one, but that one in the afternoon played out really nicely. We had GU, which was a stop out yesterday as well. It was pretty much over before it even began. And that one's done nothing since. I mean, as you can see here, it's just a real grind along sideways. We had the NZD CAD, which unfortunately was a beautiful trade overnight, went straight to target, but not before stopping us out here. And this was insane because at the rollover at 10 o'clock, we had a massive gap up. So we were in the trade. The pending order got triggered, unfortunately, at 9 o'clock, which was a really poor time for the trade to trigger. And then it was literally a couple of bars later, we were gapped out of it. And that one was a stop out as well. So again, it's been a real mixed bag. We had, from yesterday's allotment in itself, UK Brent is running. We had a win in the euro dollar, a win in cable, and a win in the NAS 100. We had a loss in cable. We had a loss in the NZD CAD. And we had a loss in the US 30 Dow Jones. So 6 trades, 3 winners, 3 losers. Obviously, because of the decent risk yield that we're always looking for, we are making money. We're always making money because of the risk strategy that we're using, which is a good thing, right? But it's definitely feeling like a grind at the moment. It's not plain sailing at all. But I don't have the exact figures for you for what we're up so far. Excuse me, this week, but it's not too bad. I mean, Euro USD is a 1 to 2 point, but basically a 1 to 2.8. The GA was a 1 to 2.8. Oddly enough, we had the NAS 100, which is a 1 to 2.45, which is great. So, you're probably looking at a good, strong 1.5% return there. Maybe even more. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. It might actually be more like a 1.75% return. We're looking at about 1.75% return yesterday for the winners, minus the 0.75% for the losers, and you're looking at just maybe under 1% return for yesterday. So that's a 1% day. So that's not actually, it's not actually that bad when you tally it up. Because at the moment, hopefully, we're kind of aiming for that 0.5% to 1% per day, which it might seem a bit crazy, but that's what we're trying for. This month, though, so far has not been that good, has it? It's not been an absolute stormer like the rest of them. I mean, the track record. I just checked the track record quickly. Yes, so this month so far is 14.17%. That's probably going to be 15.1% with the inclusion of the latest trades, which I think some of them have actually been, overnighters. Yeah, one overnighter, but we haven't had this morning ones be flooded in here yet. So we're probably at about 15.1%. Guessing at the moment, with the weekly return so far of 2.6%, and the trade win-loss ratio won't change at all for a grand total of 345 odd %, which is, I mean, that's quite something, isn't it? But it's definitely been, I mean, we're looking at half the return we have for the previous 2 months this month, so a very, very big decline in the returns, in the fund's returns, but still well above the benchmark of where we want to be sitting at about 8 to 10%. So all good on that front. So there's no point looking at the US markets at this stage. I will be coming in later to fire out some US market analysis, some static analysis for you guys to work from. So that's that. In terms of the European stocks this morning, the breakout has been pretty poor at best. In fact, has there even been a breakout is more of the question to ask. The EU 50 at the moment is just completely bottoming out. It's completely flatlined. The DAX, maybe, possibly, no, it doesn't look better, to be honest. It's been a complete grind fest in there as well. Lots of up and downs markets. The UK FTSE is the best looking one. And there is an actual trade idea on this UK FTSE because of where we're trading at the moment. So if we go back to this area in here and drag that bar along, we've got a really nice point of liquidity in here. We've got a little break of structure which is taking place at the moment. And we've got a really nice level of liquidity down at the bottom, which is the most recent major inflection point, which is where we've seen the influx of bullish market, the bullish buyers entering the market here and changing that directional element of the trend. So we've had all the sellers coming in, we hit this area, and all of a sudden we get a lot of buying interest down at this level. So what I'm proposing here today, this morning, is a European trade, UK FTSE, 0.25, market order, okay, so current market value, and I'm looking at a 1 to 2.6 risk reward. So that's what I'm looking at for this UK FTSE. So, yeah, don't try and copy the numbers because the charts may differ. So look at the visual cues, look at where the zones are, and that's the trade that I'm looking at. Okay. Okay. So I've got myself a 1 to 2. Oh, hang on a minute. 3.5. A 1 to 2.43 is that one. That's what I'm looking at with that UK FTSE. 0.25 trade. We'll see where it goes. It could go, I mean, like any trade, guys, it's going to go either way. But looking at where this big inflection point is down at the bottom there, looking back in time, it's a good one. The UK FTSE is only down minus 0.37% so far, so it's got a long way to go. If we get down to the bottom there, it's probably going to be a good 1% day. No, not even a minus 1% day, minus 0.79. So it's definitely got the room to go there. What we're kind of hoping for here is we're going to continue the breakout down, probably end up getting a retest anyway. The retest doesn't fail and it continues to trade lower. So that's what we're hoping for. Then again, it could be done before it even begins. That's the nature of what we're doing here. So we'll see where we go. Right. Let's have a quick flash over at the rest of the assets then. So live trades at the moment, we've got UK Brent running. Apart from that, pretty much everything else is closed. The CAD Swiss, at this stage, we've removed the pending from that one. The Aussie NZD, I'm going to take the executive decision to remove the pending order from that one as well. It's just not playing ball at the moment, that Aussie NZD. And so therefore we can essentially start at the top of the list really. So Aussie CAD, a couple of stop outs on this one this week. We're minus 0.5% down on this particular asset. We've got this area in here, which is pretty decent considering we have a beautiful path of least resistance down to around 91.65. Should we break the structure on that? We're quite close to it now. Aussie CAD is currently down minus 0.26%, so not really a great deal. Means we've got room to maneuver. So what I'm going to do is suggest a break of structure trade, or am I? Yeah, I am, yeah. Yeah, break of structure trade below this area in here. And pending order 0.25, looking at a 1 to 2.37. Yeah, because that in there is what I want to watch out for. That's the one. that needs to watch out for. Yeah, so that's fine. So yeah, looking at a 1 to 2.37 short in the Aussie CAD, down to 91.67 liquidity. I'm going to slap a short on that. Okay, Aussie yen. It's a no can do. Yeah. Nah, it's a no can do on the Aussie yen at this stage. Not on the Aussie NZD either. The Aussie dollar. Definitely got a nice floor in there we could work with. It's not the floor though, is it? Let's have a look at the daily quickly. Sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, I mean this is a real floor that we're forming there at this stage, isn't it? But it does look like the market wants to break down lower. Why does it look like that? Well, because we've been coming down to this area, we've been testing it over and over again, and every single time we come back up to this area, we wick through and then get big rejection. So, and the fact that we've been forming lower highs as well. There's still a lot of selling interest in this. I'm just wondering if this is all the same level of liquidity though. That's what I'm thinking here. Is it bouncing off the top of liquidity? Because to me it looks like it, which unfortunately means for us that the Aussie dollar is not going to have any kind of trading opportunity to the downside for a while, because I'll be wanting to look out for signs of breaker structure points down here at around 66.20 before I get any kind of interest in selling it myself. Looking at the longs, 50-minute time frame, we could certainly be looking long the Aussie dollar based on the correct type of breaker structure, and then taking it back up to this 15-minute ceiling. I probably wouldn't be going to 67. Not that that isn't the main point, but looking at this area on this Aussie dollar chart, this is actually quite decent in here. A decent ceiling to work with because it does provide a good trading margin. So the breaker structure part is going to come from this area in here. And then we'll be looking for the long from this area up to that area with the stop in between. So I mean, even if we have the stop loss there, it's a 1 to 2.3. If we have the stop a little bit higher up, you know, you guys are looking at a really nice risk reward on that one. So I think I'm probably going to... So we've got that inflection point as well, don't we, there? So that one is that one. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that level's pretty good. It's pretty strong actually all the way across here. Again, it's not the big daily pushes down, but if the market does start bouncing back, then I would like to think that we're probably going to continue straight the way up to test out the 66.90 again. Yeah, so pending order in the Aussie dollar long. Whoops. 0.25, breaker structure trade, up to 66.89. Entry is around 66. Oh, I don't like that. 666. I've got no option but to have that, do I? Unless I want to go for 667. Or am I being silly? I'm going to go for 667 for a 1 to 2.5, just because the number 666. No, doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem good for a trader taking a trade with a 666 number. So we'll go for a 667 entry on that one. A little bit of a more gracious breaker structure. I mean, the benefits to that, of course, are actually seeing the consistency in the move up. We're probably less likely to get wicked out. So there is definitely, there's definitely a benefit to it. And yeah, we'll see how we fare from there. CAD yen has been a rocket this week, to be honest, hasn't it? It really has. This has not been very nice. But this latest move here overnight was very, very good. And again, we've entered the European session. We're already starting to see the grind. Euro Oz, any good? Not entirely sure about the Euro Oz. Let's have a look at the daily quick. Oh, nah, that daily looks nasty, doesn't it? I mean, where would you go from here? No, I'm not liking that one. Euro Yen. Yeah, that daily breakout's really nice. So if today's candlestick closes above here, then we'll be getting into the game of shorting it soon. So we do need to close anywhere around about where we are at the moment. If we close anywhere lower, then the daily is going to fail to break out of this, right? Because this is just going to be a daily wick. So we do want to see that close up there. So again, we can't trade that because if we're expecting it to stay where it is, it's not going to move. Oh man, no. Pound yen looks, yeah, pound yen, that's been good as well, hasn't it? Let's have a look at the daily. Bloody hell. Yeah, that's a beast. That's the biggest move. Oh no, USD yen actually. USD yen's the biggest mover, but pound yen very closely behind. Interestingly enough, we've reached this area in here. Do we think we're just going to plow straight through, or are we going to come back? I think this is worth a look at. So, breaker structure element is going to be there. That's your barrier to entry. And then we're looking at filling the margin back down to, let's say, not right down at the floor, but there. That's quite a nice little inflection point. You see, first one, we came down to here, didn't really have any impact, right? This one we came up to, bang. Nice big move, which means, naturally, there's money in the market at this area. So that's what I'll be doing. So that's going to be our trading margin. Really nice short little intraday trade here in the pound yen. Breaker structure entry, which means pending order, 0.25. Looking at a 1 to 2.34 risk reward ratio. 197.13 entry, 197.38 stop loss, and the 196.55 target. Coming away from big liquidity, daily price action pullback, retest mode, and then we can look at going long with the trend once that's been completed. Alright guys, well, it's 10 o'clock, in actual fact it's a couple minutes past. I'm going to wrap things up there. So as it stands currently, we have continued trading in gold, break, close, retest, fix 1 to 2s or counter trend trade ideas back down. There's obviously a bit of there's ambiguity, I guess you could say, in this one. In terms of the normal style where I provide explicit instructions, there is ambiguity in this one, but the process is so simple, I don't think it requires the continuation of just posting the trades over and over again. It's a very, very nice, simple process of a break close. You know, the next one that we're looking at now, team, just so you're absolutely clear, is a retest of this. So if this gets retested successfully and then breaks structure, you guys are going to be yielding a 1 to 2 off the top of it, right? So 1 to 2 is that. So that's the trade idea. If you're looking for the short idea from this point on is a breaker structure underneath here. Whoops, is underneath here. So that's a breaker structure trade down there, and then you'll be looking to take that trade idea back down to 27.40. So the short then is going to look like this. That's exactly what I'll be doing. Okay, exactly. So they're the trades in gold. So really, gold can have a permanent stamp of blue for the split decisions, but it's just the nature of trading all-time high markets. So next up, we've got the Aussie CAD, looking at a short there. We have the Aussie dollar, looking at a long here. We then have the pound yen, looking at a potential short there away from big liquidity. And then we, of course, have our UK FTSE trade, which is currently in profit and having a price action pullback. And on top of that, we have the UK Brent as well, which is now at break even and not doing much of anything. Okay, so we've got plenty to be working on. We've got a couple of runners, and we've got new fresh positions to start adding to the books. So we'll get that done, and that'll be it. And then this afternoon, I'll come on and fire over some US markets breakout analysis for your charts as well, so that you can get ready for that one, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys. So if there's no questions, I'm going to wrap things up there. Have a great day today. I look forward to catching you all later on this afternoon in the US market breakout. Good luck to you, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you then. All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, take care. Cheers. Bye bye.